Hi, I'm Mike Gallagher. Like most of us, my family is very important to me. That's why I'm excited that this year's BMH Foundation annual campaign is focusing on healthy babies and women and children's services at Ball Memorial Hospital. A contribution to this year's campaign will make a significant difference to many families in our community. I'm also delighted to introduce two of our physician campaign chairs, Dr. Aaron Vinson and Dr. Dan LaPiccolo, who will highlight the importance of this year's campaign. Please join us in supporting this vital cause.
I chose to become a family physician because I knew that I wanted to work with a variety of people.
The importance of medical care and the quality of care that our women and children receive here in our community is immense.
When I have the opportunity to help people through difficult times, it's an extremely rewarding experience.
I chose my current medical specialty because I felt called to. I originally chose internal medicine, but had a passion for delivering babies.
The fact that we as a community have all of these specialty services available locally is important to me and my patients because it allows for those patients to be treated locally despite the range of care they may need.
I became involved in this year's campaign because I want to make a difference in this community. The medical services and the quality of care that we provide our women and children needs to be top-notch.
When we can provide these services locally, it allows for the extended family to be a support network for the patients themselves and the immediate family.
This year's campaign is most important because it tells our patients that we can provide them the very best medical care right here close to home.
Support of this year's BMH Foundation campaign will allow us to continue providing quality, family-centered care for women, children, infants, and their families.
When local dentist Carl Jackson Jr. and his wife Kamika learned they were going to become parents of twin girls, they also found out that Kamika and the babies would need specialized care, the kind that is only found in 4 Indian facilities outside Indianapolis, one of them being Ball Memorial Hospital. Their story is all about putting family first.
We saw Kamika from the very beginning of her pregnancy. She was considered high risk because of her twin gestation.
Our perinatologist, Dr. Lamware, decided to treat her and bring her here in case she would actually go into labor and need to go back to the OR for her C-section immediately.
Dr. Lamware was able to answer all the questions, and it seemed like he was just a step ahead of what nature had dealt me.
And she was always in great spirits. She was a great patient, always willing to do whatever it took for her babies.
And when I went in for my C-section, Kaysen came out and she did fine, and Carson came out, and for the first couple of minutes she did okay, and then she started having some respiratory distress, so they intubated her and she went to the NICU.
You know, it was scary to see that, but they took the time to step back and say, hey, we have to do this for this reason, and you have nothing to worry about. And when they noticed that I was, concerned, and they came and kind of spoke to me about what was going on, I was able to say, okay, I'm going to let go. They're doing what they're supposed to do. I trust they're going to do their job. I know they're going to do what they're supposed to do. After they got everything, together with Case, and I was able to just walk through one door, and I was over in the NICU and able to, even see them transferring her over to the bed and doing everything they were supposed to do. So, it was just steps, seconds and steps, and I was wherever I needed to be.
Of course, with the first couple of hours of life, you want to bond with your child. I could walk and push her bed and go right into the NICU, clean up, and then they would allow me to hold her anytime I wanted to, as long as it was within the parameters of her health.
And the NICU nurses also were great about bringing out Carson to be with Kamika and Kaysen, for bonding and for feeding, so she was able to still have both twins in her room often.
The NICU is right next door to the mother-baby unit as well as labor and delivery. So the parents, as long as the mother is in as a patient herself, has the opportunity to walk next door and visit the baby anytime, night or day.
Typically when something major happens, a lot of people think about, I need to get to Indianapolis because we don't have it here. It was very surprising to see that they had all the doctors in line, they had the respiratory therapists in line, they had the nurses, they had, the secretaries, everything was in line.
Of the 15 perinatal centers in the state of Indiana, there are only 4 outside of the Indianapolis area, and we're very fortunate to be one of those 4.
With her husband, CJ, being a local dentist, he was still able to carry on with his practice and still come see Kamika multiple times a day.
Obviously, it's not feasible for a dentist to shut down his whole practice for 6 weeks and just stay with mom. The realities of the world are that, we have to produce for the family and work.
Keeping those family dynamics together and everything, I think it's really nice that we have the ability to do that here.
And you could tell, that was a very bright spot in her day, obviously, is to get visitors, and it wouldn't be the same if you were an hour away.
In some situations, kids could be lifeline to another city, and the mothers in this city have to wait to be discharged to go and even see your children. It was just extremely important to me that everything was happening right there.
We want to provide the best experience close to home, providing exceptional outcomes, and keeping that family unit together and supporting them the best way we can.
It was a breath of fresh air to know we can go right down the street and everything was going to be perfectly fine.